Hello, everybody, and welcome back into the Dota2Canada Cup Season 6 group stages. We are here with the last day of Group C and the last day of group stages in general for the Canada Cup Season 6. And then we'll head into the playoffs, of course. Actually, we do have a tie-breaking for Group D, so that'll be on the 21st. So I actually kind of lied about that, but either way, it's still going to be one of the last days of the group stages here. We have Team Archon versus Void Boys. Complexity went 3-0 all of yesterday, so they are solidly in the playoffs here as the first member of Group D or Group C to do so. Let's jump into the draft here. Of course, we are on moonducktv. Like I said, Archon versus Void Boys. My name is Mont. With me today is Lurker Drip on stats. We've got Pitmuckle doing observing in production. And of course, we have Zyori as well. Andrew, how the hell are you?
I'm fabulous, Mont. We had a good day of casting yesterday. Some pretty exciting games, and actually some really close games. You're getting me all prepared for some one-sided, stompy games with flamethrowers coming out left and right, and really we saw the opposite. Just some good old-fashioned back and forth, tug of war kind of Dota, and honestly, the mana pauses and the flames were kept to a minimum tomorrow or yesterday. So I'm hoping today these teams get their heads on right. They're ready to flame, and they're ready to go crazy because I'm ready.
I mean, Archon's not the type of team to flame, sadly. I want more than
Those
anything.
sponsored teams.
Yeah, seriously, dude. Like, it's just those teams that have that extra little bit of pressure not to do that type of thing. And I mean, they're just generally nice people. Like, all of those people are pretty good. So I think for the most part, we won't see any flaming from them. Void Boys are mostly like Chinese too, so they probably won't flame as much either. They're also generally pretty mannered. Great, we got a Tusk. Super excited. My favorite hero not to watch in all of Dota 2. I can't wait till that hero gets taken out or nerfed to oblivion, and it's still going to be a while, though.
It's always a good rule of thumb to play devil's advocate with your co-caster, but this is one arena in which I will not delve. I am not a fan of the Tusk either, Ma. We talked about this yesterday. He is just too good, I think. Like the nerfs helped, but it's just not enough, man. This hero is still just too good at too many things. I think Snowball is the biggest one. Just having that reset tool. It's sort of like Shallow Grave, except it has that versatility of allowing you to initiate, bring your teammates with you, and also save your friends in clutch scenarios. He is just, that walrus.
It's like the perfect team fight hero is what Tusk is, and that makes me really upset because somebody like Tidehunter goes by the wayside because you can't play Tidehunter in the 4 position. That's the thing. Tide's like, I can only get played in the side lane, in the off lane.
Yeah,
and
but
I have to have a blinking dagger
upgrade, bro. Now you can gush from afar.
Oh, great! Wow, you can do far. You can't really initiate with gush though. I mean, you kind of can. And Snowball just goes everywhere.
Does that take the cake for worst Aghanims upgrade currently in the game? I feel like that is like, I mean, Gush is just such not intimidating.
How is Wraith King Ags legit?
Alright, hold on. Okay, I'm unmuted for stream. Dear stream, please agree with me that Wraith King Octarine Ags is actually good. Like,
sounds awful.
Actually is good. No, okay, so here's what you do. You go like either Midas or something else. Like maybe even you go Talon now, and you just go Radiance, you go Axe, you go Octarine, and refresh afterwards, and you just cannot die. And you do so much damage. Like, think about it. You have 5 seconds of raid stuff, and you also have like a 40-second cooldown or some shit. It's insane. Like, I'm telling you, it actually is legit.
Okay.
We just
Congrats not doing any right-click damage.
That is not the point. You have a Radiance. Alright, I'm just freaking muted. This is not my job, guys. See you stream.
Oh, man. Bot's gone full savage today.
I'm just saying, listen, it was bad last patch, so I don't know how it's going to be good this patch. That's what everyone came to the conclusion of.
Well, we're not talking about good mod. We're talking about within the dumpster tier, that bottom tier of like bottom 5%. Who takes the cake is the absolute
I mean, definitely,
worst.
Tide's definitely up there. There's no way you build an Ags for better Gush, which doesn't do more damage, has more range, and a shorter cooldown. It's so... They have to tweak the numbers on a lot of these things, and I know you want to put them in and see how they work out, and it's more of a pubby build kind of thing, but like you have to think of the game being balanced around competitive Dota, and if it's not good in like a competitive mindset, you're not going to build it. Like, for example, Luna Ags is actually like really good in a pub game, but you're never going to see it in an actual pro Dota game because it's just not... It's not.
I mean, I'm sure
useful.
It's definitely happened. There have been a couple.
It has. I've seen.
Well,
no, I've only seen it in troll games. I've seen a game where
really?
Mason went refresher and not refresher. Like Radiance. No, it was refresher. Radiance refresher Ags on Luna, and I was like, that's fine. I mean, they were just stomping in that game, but
it doesn't scale that well. But if you can get the Aghanims at a fast rate, like if you're really dominating hard, usually those are the games where you're kind of in control anyway. But early Ags can be devastating on that hero. The damage output is insane, and now that you can buff it on people, put it on a Wisp, let him relocate, and all of a sudden, oh man, our supports, where'd all these moonbeams come from? You can also target it on the ground, fighting in the Roche pit, forget about it, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I also just built Aghanim's Luna's on Luna the other day, and my team flamed the hell out of me, and I stood up for it so hard, so I'm going to continue to do it here more.
Did you win?
No, of course not.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man.
It was not glad you.
I'm glad you stood up for it, and I'm glad you went in, but
I still want to believe. Okay, I want to believe.
Speaking of good Aghanim Scepters, Viper has one, so does Queen of Pain, but you will never see a Viper build Ags, more than likely, like, ever again. This hero with the agility gain buff in the last patch, and him coming to more prominence in this patch and the end of last patch has actually started to turn into a decent right clicker. You'll still probably see him go Treads mech as the norm for most Vipers, but there are other builds where you can get away with going right click. SNY, Manta's the more obvious choice, Butterfly down the road. You even see sometimes you get a Maelstrom or Mjolnir. There's so many items you can go for on Viper. We've seen a trend of a lot of Vipers not picking up your ultimate at level 6, and Purge has really just been upset whenever that's happened so far in Dota games, and I tend to agree with him. That's a value point for a slow. The entire point of the hero is chasing down your prey and killing them.
Now, his damage output is nuts. Right when he dings level 6, there are a handful of heroes that are just completely lethal the second they turn 6. Lean is a great example. Her burst damage is just unmatched at that point in the game. Viper's damage output is nuts, and you have to factor in how much the slow affects his targets when you have Viper Strike and the poison, or at least level 3 poison on. He can get so many auto attacks in, there's no way to run away from him. He'll win that man fight pretty much every time.
You know what I just thought of? So I did not realize this until a couple of days ago. We'll talk about this in a second. I need to make my point clear here. Is that so? Again, Phase Boots does not cancel your cast. Like you can move and cast now with Phase Boots active, right?
Oh yeah.
And so if you go Phase on Viper, which is sort of semi-popular, and you cast your Viper Strike, you could literally just like run at people, cast your Viper Strike, and that solves the entire issue of Viper being a slow hero, not very mobile. And I love Phase on Viper. I think it's one of the better items, and people don't. It's very underused, especially in pub games. Obviously, you lose a lot of tankiness. That's all I wanted to say. We could talk about the Chaos Knight now if you want.
I'm a big fan of Phase Boots on Viper. I think positioning is really important on that hero. You can only get away with the treads if you have like a really good front line. I guess having a Tusk on your team is maybe a scenario where you can get away with it, but Chaos Knight here, third picked for Archon. So I wonder, is this the classic position 1 Chaos Knight, or is this the oddly inspired roaming support Chaos Knight? I saw DC do it last month or so, and it was horrible. I hope Archon's not going to do something similar.
10 seconds.
I'm not sold on the roaming support DK. I venture to say that it's just ass.
I don't know. I think you might be able to get away with it. I feel like CK is pretty good now.
He just doesn't have enough mana. That's the problem. If he had a bigger mana pool, it would be one thing, but it's a huge issue. I mean, now...
Uh-oh. We lose him? Is he gone? I can't hear him.
Team? Chat,
we lost!
Is Andrew actually alive? Chat, hello?
Alright, well... Maybe it looks like he DC'd. Hopefully he comes back and just tell us when you're alive, Andrew. Hopefully you come back soon. Archon picks up the Invoker, one of the more popular heroes of this current patch. No surprise, no shocker. Like this is the level 1 change to Invoke is pretty damn good. JG, do you want to jump in until he comes back? Because I
am right here with you.
All right,
all good.
We can. I'm sure we could find some common ground.
Didn't Chaos Knight get buffed?
Did he? That was what I wanted to ask.
I'm positive he got buffed. I'm just.
It's Reality Rift bonus damage. That's right. Yeah, but that's its max level. Reality Rift bonus damage has been increased by 60.
All right, maybe not the biggest thing. I guess it helps mid game.
That's good.
I mean, it's gonna help like around level 7-8.
It gives you that armor reduction too, I believe. Or no, that's the crit.
Oh,
right? That's the crit.
Yeah, that was the crit.
That's the crit.
So you pick up one.
That was the last patch. Yeah, you get a point in crit, then you get like level 3 reality. Actually, you go for level 4 reality Rift because now it scales better at the last level. Chaos Bolts.
You know what? I think you could even make a case for maximum reality. Reality Rift. It's late here because it has 6-second cooldown.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad. It's getting pretty ridiculous now. I still think you should go Manta, but that's
And it's not that bad in terms of mana cost, whereas Chaos Bolt is like 140 mana. Reality Rift is always 50 mana cost, which I think is pretty damn good. So I think you get 4 points for Reality Rift, you get 3 points Chaos Bolt, 1 point in Chaos Strike before you get your ultimate, I think, at some point in time.
I think you still have to get your ult, just because if you get lucky and have another...
yeah, that's true. They changed the build now.
Yeah, it's so insane. You can
Yeah.
pretty easily actually secure a kill on lane if anyone is coming over. And I gotta say, though, a CK really doesn't do that much damage, but if you put Alacrity on him, like suddenly he actually deals some damage even if he doesn't have ult up. And that's one of these things which made Chaos Knight always like so bad. 140 seconds on his cooldown is that's so bad. Like, just cannot fight. Maybe with Alacrity, we're gonna see it. I'm actually...
All right, are you back? What happened, bud?
I'm back, gang. I don't know
what's
what
up?
happened. Did the old punch, kick, reset? It looks like I'm good. Hopefully we hold steady.
So we can go back.
We'll call it a fluke for now.
Well, there's an Invoker pickup and now a Jakiro. And JJ and I were talking about how Chaos Knight was buffed through Reality Rift. Bonus damage has been buffed up to 60 more than its previous incarnation in the last patch. That's something that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he was changed, I guess, 2 patches ago now with the Chaos Strike, with the armor reduction. So I think he's stronger than his pick rate would have you think, but still, he requires a pretty specific degree of execution. And I guess we'll see with this final pick for Archon if this will be a support or a core CK, but I hope it's a position 1. If he gets some early momentum, man, this hero can really take over the game. And Void Boys have quite a bit of AoE with the Gyrocopter and the Jakiro, but those illusions, once he gets a Manta as well, it's very easy for the CK to just overrun them. And all right, Lifestealer, here we go. Support Chaos Knight.
It looks like it will be, yeah. This roaming
or
support
it's a greedy
CK.
jungle Lifestealer, which I think is much less likely, but hey, still a possibility.
Again, I think jungling in this patch is so strong right now because of Iron Talon, but I just don't see that happening. I don't know. Support
it's a possibility,
CK,
though.
I've
Something to
never
keep in
seen
mind.
support CK, so I don't know like how effective it's going to be. You talked about it.
Like
but
I said, I only saw it the one time, and he's got a powerful stun. Reality Rift is a great gap closer, of course. It can set up kills, but you do one rotation. If you don't get the kill within that time frame, you are just chewing through consumables until you get level 5, level 6. And he does not really flash farm. Kind of like Slardar, if he falls behind, that recovery can be a little bit difficult. So he needs to keep tempo.
Yeah, I'm excited because we talked a lot about it yesterday where we're like, okay, we're sick of seeing these heroes. There's a lot of quote unquote new heroes. Like, they're not new, but we don't see them that often anymore. These heroes used to be picked all the time a couple patches ago, a couple of years ago. Disruptor will come out for Void Boys. That's been a hero that has been very prominent. I've seen it picked a couple of times the last couple of days. The Static Storm was pretty good, especially with Ags. I think in this game is also pretty solid, so that even if the Quap is going to be KP, you can bring her back. I think Disruptor is particularly good against the Quap, against the Lifestealer if he doesn't get his Rage off. Could be good against the CK if you can get his Static Storm available before the CK uses his Phantasm. So I'm a huge fan of the Disruptor, and it looks like it's going to be Disruptor Jakiro combo with Tusk. Could be a support Tusk if Jakiro goes in the offlane, and Shawan is picking it up, so that looks like to be the case, which is what Swindle did in the last game. And Moo is playing the CK, and they've swapped things around. So Moo's actually more of the 1-2 position, and Mucky's has switched to the offlane. But I'm not sure how they're going to lane things up. And Jo is going to be playing the Invoker. Fluff is playing a Quap. This is a roaming Quap, roaming support Quap. Is that going to be it?
It's possible. We've seen Z-Freak do that before, where he'll go Queen of Pain in the jungle. The times that I've seen it usually goes Yule's Scepter first, so you get a lot of mana regen early on, lets you farm the jungle pretty nice, and then you can set up kills, do all the good stuff that Yule's provides. It can work pretty well. I mean, Queen of Pain can jungle fairly effectively. She's got the dagger for the big creeps, and the Scream of Pain is pretty good for taking out stacks. Pretty good range, that kind of stuff. So it can work. If it's a little bit more of a passive early game, then she can definitely make use of the jungle pretty well. But on the note of the Disruptor, I really agree with you. I think it's a hero that as long as your team can play around it and you have a good Disruptor player, he can fit into pretty much any lineup. Really strong against the Queen of Pain, of course. Nice AoE for the CK. Even just having a way to box the illusions in so they can't just zerg your buildings, that can definitely become a factor in the 30-plus mark of the game when those illusions do absurd amounts of damage. So nice pick to round off the Void Boys draft here, no doubt.
I think Invoker's going to do pretty well against this lineup. Void Boys. Just the Quas Wix is going to destroy some of the squishy heroes like Fly and the Disruptor. We'll take down the mana of a make opponent so he can't snowball and save his allies. But I will have to say I'm very concerned about the creep clear, the illusion clear. If this game goes late, the CK and the Lifestealer will probably be able to do a lot. But Viper and Gyrocopter and maybe even the Jakiro are no real slouch in the late game. And especially because of the changes to Viper in the last couple of patches, making it so his agility gain is good. We've seen G play lots of late game Viper, and he's, had 50, 60-minute games where he's almost come back from the brink of devastation. And obviously, Gyrocopter late game is nothing to sniff at. You can deal with the Chaos Knight illusions pretty soundly with Flat Cannon. I don't know, man. I have no fucking idea.
Can I ask you a question? When you use that phrase, like, that's nothing to sniff at, I think the proper phrase is that's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Are you just saying sniff to make fun of me, or
no,
is that
dude?
just
It's
the
completely.
Way you say it?
It's literally. It's just a complete mistake. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. I have no idea why I'm doing it.
I don't mind either way. Please don't correct yourself. It's just I was wondering. If
I'm pretty sure at one point I definitely said scoff at, and then I just decided that sniff was better for me for some reason.
I mean, it sounds better. I'm all in. I wasn't sure if I should be loading up the cannons to fire back, or if this was just an honest mistake. We need to calibrate our weaponry here.
I'm completely serious. There was absolutely no, it was not.
All right, good stuff. All right, so what are we doing here? What are we looking at? Viper mid, and I also agree with you about the late game Viper, man. He can be really scary. MKB opens up a lot of possibilities for him, and you think of him as this early tempo controlling hero, which he certainly is, but once you get towards that late game, as long as he's been farming well, he can itemize to really make it happen. CK is going to have a solo lane up top at least to start, with Archon putting some more focus here on this bottom lane. They've got this nice aggressive ward down behind the tree line, so they want to pressure this Gyro quite a bit, but we'll see how the CK farms. This could be a difficult lane with the constant harass from the Jakiro and the Tusk as well.
Whitebeard's roaming and looking to get it as people. This is strange because you don't often see people skilled up at level 1. It's usually the Nightmare or the Brain Sap to do harass or just to set up for a kill. They're not going to go for that instead. So we'll see this dual lane for Monkeys Forever on the Lifestealer. Whitebeard down bottom. Top lane, there's going to be a dual lane for Void Boys. So dual lanes all over the damn place, which I'm totally fine with. There is a Lifestealer with 6 last hits already. He did not go for the Iron Talon. He does have the Quelling Blade, so we'll see how things do turn out. He's going to actually take out the Clarity with it not doing much for Fly. They dropped the Enfeeble as well. Patsoul is now sitting at 19 damage. Not great.
Yeah, that's fun. The glories of early game Bane. We'll see Fluff here just working the jungle. Goes first point Shadow Strike, so no blink. Probably doesn't want to reveal that, so he doesn't get pressured pretty hard. Tusk actually has some kill power here with the Jakiro before that blink gets leveled up, so we have to play a little bit passive here, just using the small camp. Definitely takes a couple levels for the jungling Queen of Pain to get ramped up.
I think level 2 Shadow Strike is definitely very important. And the amount of burst damage they have with the right clicks of the Queen of Pain, Shadow Strike level 2, and then the Chaos Bolt, Riata Rift. And by the way, he did get that point in Chaos Strike, so if they get that hit, oh god. 747, sitting at 15 HP. Fluff will blink it, but he's not in range. He needs one right click to kill him, and he can't get there. On the other side, Whitebeard will come in. Does he have the range for the Brain Sap? He does, and that will secure the kill.
All right. Well, they make it a 1-for-1 at least. Great stuff for the Viper, though.
Moo's in trouble.
Who's it up top? Yeah, Moo's going down. That's looking a little bit rough. Fluff himself going to join the party. Maybe he can get a counter kill here onto the Jakiro. Doing a lot of return damage. There is still a salve as well as a tango. And yeah, there's going to finish off Fluff. It's too much damage. The power of the Tusk, dude. Level 2 ice shards. Nice chunk of damage, and Void Boys get the advantage. Very nice. Down bottom now. Patsoul doing a lot of damage here to Whitebeard. Return damage coming out as well. I'm not sure if Patsoul's going to be able to win this one, but he gets the next cooldown of Rocket Barrage. They'll go 1-for-1. They trade the Bane for the Gyro. Fly stays alive on the other side of the trees, and Monkeys will just go back to farming the lane. Fluff's rotated down. This is action-packed. Fluff blinking over the tree line. He'll hit him with a dagger, a few auto attacks, and nothing the Disruptor can do.
Yeah, he can't deny himself. That's level 1 Shadow Strike. That took forever for him to kill him, but it doesn't matter. There's nobody there to deny. He didn't have any regen to tango up. He can maybe even tango through that at the first level of Shadow Strike. But like you said, the trade was the Bane for the, I think, Gyrocopter, and the Lifestealer, of course, was the one to get the last hit. So he's now has his Iron Talon. He's up to 700 gold. 747 dealing with Jo pretty effectively, although Jo is doing well in terms of last hits, and 747 is a little bit behind. He went for 2 points of the poison attack, has the 1 point Nether Toxin. Will he go for the max corrosive skin, or will he go for more of the Nether Toxin build is the question.
Hard to say. There's a lot of magic damage in this game, so I
That's
think
what I was
those extra
thinking.
points in Corrosive Skin are definitely warranted. But we'll see. It depends how much they want to group up, I suppose. So offlane Jakiro, not really getting the best farm, but doing okay. Moo doing all right as well, despite getting taken out, just about to hit level 5.
Oh, top lane. They want to roam on Moo. Yeah, they thought about it. He had a great start, and now he's sitting a little bit, not too far behind. I mean, he's out of the gyrocopter. You have to compare the two safe laners. He's doing a better job, but he has died once. And they've rotated around a lot of heroes. The Quap's been bottom for a bit. They even said Whitebeard down to mid lane to Enfeeble up 747. That's a huge deal. Again, that level 1 Enfeeble is doing just enough work to just stop him from out CSing the Invoker, who's, with the Alacrity, sitting at 23 last hits of his own.
Yeah.
Open Wounds bottom, Pat Soul in trouble, jump in. There's the Shadow Strike. Sunstrike will go as well. That's a dead Invoker with a Brain Sap getting the last hit. And Fly will back away. He actually got glimpsed back, Whitebeard did, but he'll be alive nonetheless.
Gyrocopter going down. Nice little gank there for sure. Fluff's been very active. He's almost level 4. I feel like this roaming Quap has been pretty effective. Well, as I say that, he blinks in and just gets juiced straight away. That's
They baited him real hard with that
glimpsed
ward
him
there.
That's unfortunate. No, they didn't glimpse him. That was just he just blinked in.
He blinked in, yeah. He just
Oh
blinked
my
in.
God.
I don't know what he was doing.
That was
he had a
ambitious.
ward here, and he's like, "I'm gonna get him, guys. We're gonna set something up." And
Yeah.
they saw him the entire way. They saw him looking in this direction and like hunger in his eyes. I don't know what he thought was going to happen. That's a clear misplay. So
Maybe
they
he thought
give
they
a free
TP'd
kill.
out.
I mean, it's not the worst thing. They gave away kill they probably shouldn't have, but nonetheless, I think Archon still have the lead here. It's actually Void was with 300 net worth lead. That's nothing. I don't know where they're getting that from though. I mean, I guess it's the Chaos Knight's really just not doing anything actually.
Yep. Yeah, he's the weak link. If you look at the last hit
yeah.
chart, it's kind of standing out. 7-7 could be in some trouble here. Fluff with an aggressive blink forward, eats a Viper Strike to the face. Sunstrike gets queued, but it'll be off the mark. Fluff will TP home, just barely makes it. Poison not enough to finish him off in the well, and he will survive the assault. 747 only at half HP. That's the power of the Viper Strike right there, Mod. He just hit level 6, and yeah, that thing does a boatload of damage.
Yeah, and he went for the Corrosive Skin build, at least 2 points into it now, so... That's the problem, is that going the Corrosive Skin and with the Viper Strike, you just don't have the damage. I mean, he needed more points than Nether Toxin or Poison Attack to get that kill. He had one more point in Nether Toxin or Poison Attack, maybe he gets that kill, but that's not the case. He's actually able to TP out, and that's the one way to counter the Viper Strike, assuming there's no other heroes nearby. Somebody thought about TPing in. I think it was maybe the Disruptor. The Tusk now is sitting mid as well. Maybe just trying to say, Jo, don't go for this kill. And Jo's trying to get a Midas of his own, I believe. 747 starting to do some decent damage to him.
Yep. Yeah, I think the Midas is not even really an
God.
option on Exort Invoker. It's a requirement.
Look at
Need
this.
that. Oh, here we go. The Ancient Black Dragon. Now, this is a little bit better than it was in patches prior with that new Fireball ability that stays burning on the
He
ground.
just
so
cleared that creep wave. That was crazy.
this feels a little bit less gimmicky now and more, okay, there's some utility here.
He's going to lose it, though.
Top. Uh-oh, Moo is in a lot of trouble. Call down gets queued. He'll get caught in the ice path. It's going to be a dead CK. Tries to turn it around before he dies, but will get caught out in the mid lane. Looks like Jo this time wins the duel against Viper. Has a couple of hit points left, but gets a kill.
Well, he's going Quas Exort with 1 point in Wex so he can get some Alacrity, which is a very interesting build. But the Alacrity
like
and then he dropped the Deafening Blast to make sure the Disarm stayed up is pretty damn solid. So I think that's how he got the kill. I actually didn't see it, but Jo's going to go ahead TP home. He's almost got his Midas. If they actually just picked up a tower, it's still not enough for him. He'll TP somewhere else or just walk back to lane. And then, speaking of TPing, Moo is just looking for a place to farm. And the safest place at this point is the enemy jungle. With the Iron Talon, he'll be able to just chunk away at some of these Hellbearers and go to work. But top lane, Fluff might get dope if he's not careful. Liquid Fire is going under the tower, and it looks like Void Boys will exchange tower for tower in the safe lanes.
Fluff should be okay for now. It seems like he's hit a wall a little bit. Still level 4. He had a good early start, and now he's kind of leveled off, and it's difficult for him to farm. You see this aggressive ward down right here, giving him some nice intel into that entryway of where he'd be pathing to farm the jungle. So forced to just hide in the trees for now until he gets some intel that the Void Boys have parted ways with the top lane, and they are cruising on mid. Jo could find himself in a world of hurt if he's not trouble here. Looks like he'll back up just in time as the rest of the Void Boys start doing some damage to this tier 1 tower mid. The death ball's beginning here, Mont. They are ready to team fight.
Yeah, I mean, Void Boys have a great advantage now with the Jakiro almost getting up to his Yules. Pat Soul's done okay, but down bottom, they'll grab the kill on the Disruptor. The Sunstrike came through. They actually had the Chaos Bolt. Reality Rift came through, I believe. Maybe not. Did more than enough damage. He did max the reality rift, by the way, so our thoughts were correct in saying that you get the max reality rift, you maybe go for the chaos bolt a little bit, you get 1 point in that chaos strike. But they can't fight yet. They don't have the Phantasm. Jo went for Midas. He's not really ready in terms of levels, and Fluff isn't going to provide a level 6 yet, so they cannot stop this push.
Yeah.
They're going to give away another tower here as the cliff comes out, but down bottom, they have the Ancient Thunderhide here. Lifesteal's picked it up, and so they'll try to exchange tier 2 for tier 2.
Yeah, well, another change here as well. I guess Frenzy now you can apply to allies, so...
That's actually really good.
Yeah, I mean, this whole getting into the Ancients idea is really not too shabby here, especially 9 minutes into the game. These things have a lot of HP, lets the Lifestealer stay nice and aggressive, and Whitebeard, he's going to get pretty manly here. They're going to go right in on to Fly. That Thunderhide doing a hell of a lot of damage. They get the kill. Whitebeard will get turned around on. Now Monkey's going to be left all by his lonesome. He's just going to man up, pops the Rage, goes blow for blow with 747. Now he'll turn tail and run. No TP.
He's got Infest.
Does have drums though. Infest is up indeed. Can he find a creep to hop into? He can. Gets into the
jump out
dire
and
one.
get
They
this
ping
kill?
it out. They know exactly which one it is, and now he's gonna have to try to head for the hills. Hops out, gets the HP.
Great rage.
Is off. Beautifully done. Macro Pyro will be off the mark. Wow, that was great.
Radiant's top tower.
He was looking for Moo, couldn't quite find it. Now the open moves will come, and Monkey's want to keep fighting. He's got his drum charge up in 2 seconds. We'll pop it momentarily. No, he decides not to. They're not going to fight. The Ice Shards will go. Nice trap, but there's no heroes here for Omega Poner to get some help for. And all the meanwhile, Jo and Fluff will continue fighting top. That was some great footwork coming up from the Lifestealer. Monkey's forever. Moving in and out, using his drum charges wisely. Uses the Infest twice, obviously, with the Ancient Thunderhide, and then getting into the creep and running him out of there. God, Lifestealer's owning right now.
Yeah, what a hero. The Iron Talon doing some work. Going for a standard build as well, but nice and tanky. Mana to do these tricks with the Infest and spam Rage as needed. Up top, Jo. He's going to get caught inside. Call down gets queued up, and he is in a lot of trouble. Puts down a Sunstrike before he falls, but it's just going to tickle. Pat's all getting credit for that one.
He invoked before he got glimpsed back, I believe, and that's the issue. He had level 1 invoke, and that's not going to do much. He's waiting till he obviously gets to level 11 to invoke that 2 points that invoke that he needs to level 12, I should say. And that's the standard build. Just get a lot of early points in your Quad Specs and Exhort, and then go for the level 2 and level 3 invoke at level 12. Moo is... he might have been spotted out. There's a ward nearby. He might have walked towards it. He's very low in health. He's still looking for a decent item. He only has treads. He's going to go for what seems to be an armlet as he picks up the blades of attack. On the other side, they have a mech now for 747, and this is without treads, so he's going to have to be very careful when it comes to mana usage. He does have a magic wand and an Aquila, so we'll have some mana regeneration at the very best, but...
big pickup for Chikiro here.
Yules.
That's a Yules Scepter. 11.5 minutes in. Great timing. Sets up for the Ice Path, and again, we talked about this yesterday. Even though the range on the Yules was nerfed a little bit, it's still really good setup on this hero. And gives you all that mana regen. Pretty mana-intensive THD is for sure. Viper, Met completed, still on brown boots. What's he going to go, Mon? Is it going to be the Phase or the Power Treads?
It's going to be... I mean, if he goes Phase, I'm a bit concerned, because he's going to have mana issues. He already does. He picked up the mech super early, but... now Fluff is going to just get Static Storm, glimpse back, and there's nothing he can do. I mean, that's... the biggest issue when you're playing a Quap against a Disruptor until you can get BKB, and he's playing a support Quap. So that's a free kill pretty much any time they can have Static Storm up. I do want to say something that whoever wins this game, I'm going to call right now, will be the second place winners in the group, and we'll head to the playoffs. This is probably the biggest game, and although Power Friendship are good, I don't know if they'll be able to come out on top. But down top, bottom lane,
rotation. Here we go. Thunderhide coming in. They're going to go right in onto Whitebeard. Omega Pawner with the Walrus Punch up. But this is a big reaction from Archon. They're ready to fight this. The meatball comes flying from the skies. Omega Pawner is going to fall. Fiend's Grip off to the side on 747. Follow-up damage is there. Fluff deploys his first ultimate of the game. Viper manages to mech, but it doesn't keep him alive. 2-0. Archon pick up a couple of kills.
Huge fight coming out for them. That's absolutely critical. They get that TP. They had a 4-second stun, I believe, onto, I think it was the Tusk on the side. And so they get a kill for Moo, or at least he gets involved, and now he's even closer to his armlet. He desperately needs that. And with just an armlet and your like level 2 ultimate, you can provide a lot of damage in a fight, especially with the new change to Chaos Strike. You get one crit off and boom, the armor reduction's there. Holy crap. But they will find themselves a Bane. They'll get the stun off. Sunstrike will go. Rihanna pushes him out, but only by a little. He'll still go down quickly. Whitebeard in trouble. They get the Walrus Punch off. There's two so low, and they might die. Great Rihanna rift out onto the Ancient Thunderhide. He actually might live from this. Now the glimpse will come back. Fly had the vision, and Moo will go down. Now it looks like The Life Stealer is even in a little bit more trouble. He's got the HP
they
Thunder
have
Ride
the
still
damage?
alive.
Oh,
Ice Charge
the
will go
shards!
beautifully. He'll actually jump out with the Infest. He'll raise himself up. He's got the open wounds. Walrus Punch will fly. Pops the Drum Charge. The right click is enough, and the Snowball will come through. The right click is there, and the Rocket Barrage to grab Patzel. A double kill. They get it turned right around, Ziori.
Yeah, looks like the Lifestealer also is going for Sanjin Yasha. He sold the Blades of Attack unless they're hiding on the Courier. Nope, looks like he sold him back and is going to change his item build there. Man, that Gyrocopter did so much damage in that fight. The call down was basically that fight summed up. It just completely locked Archon down. Flat Cannon doing a lot of work, and Patzel showing us what this early game Gyrocopter is all about and why he's such a prevalent carry on this patch. Looks like he'll be going for probably an SNY of his own. He's got that Blade of Alacrity already picked up. Void Boys starting to take a little bit of control here. If you pull up that gold graph, it's been an up and down roller coaster so far, but they're going to take the edge for now.
It's hard. I mean, they kind of Archon fought in a position where they were not already. Now they are. They're going to have open wounds start things off at 747. He's got the Viper Strike. He'll pop it up. Here comes the Sunstrike Defuse Grip as well. Muckies does have the Infest. He's not in that much trouble, but they still can't get the kill. The mech will come out. There's the heals up, and now Muckies has to infest his way out of there, but he does get it on the allied creep so that they can't bring him down. Patzel going right on the Whitebeard with a Rocket Barrage. Not bringing him down just yet. On the other side, moves low. Life Stealer does infest and get away, but the Sonic Wave comes through. The Deafening Blast, 2 dead on the dire side, but they'll try to turn it. Here comes Muckies from back there before he realizes his team is not there. He'll drum himself out. Fluff already used the Sonic Wave, and Jayo completely out of spells. The Glimpse back. Monkey's in trouble. There's the Static Storm. Rocket Barrage, and Patzel will get yet another added onto his belt. The mega kill spree will go his way, and they'll take the Tier 1 tower on top of it.
The power of the Disruptor there at the end, just adding an extra little cherry on top. That kill wouldn't have happened without the Disruptor on the field. Man, not being able to kill the Viper is what made that fight so hard for Archon. If they're able to kill him there, he's the perfect target to go for because he's the mech carrier. You finish him off before he can pop that item, pop his wand. That's great. The issue, though, Viper's pretty damn tanky. He's got maxed out corrosive skin. He's got the powered treads, the Ring of Aquila. They just couldn't kill him. As soon as he mech wanded, that fight was just an easy turnaround. And, of course, Big Bad Gyro came in to save the day and do all that damage.
Yeah, you're so right about Viper, and this is just why this hero is so good. You have so many ways you can build him. The corrosive skin just showed off how difficult it is to kill this damn hero. And then he pops the mech. He stays alive. He had his strength treads on. He pops a stick charger, too. Yeah. And then he just gets right back into the fight. It's impossible to take him down, and it's going to get harder even if he decides to go for maybe like an SMY or BKB. He's got a lot of item choices to make him even tankier. Maybe he goes for the Crimson Guard build, which we see occasionally on this guy.
Yeah, now there could be a possibly questionable pickup from Jayo here. He went Rod of Atos, first item after the Hand of Midas. I thought for sure that Staff of Wizardry was going to turn into a Yule's Scepter, but I mean, Atos undoubtedly gives you some great stats, an underloved item, but I'm not sure that it does a whole lot for him here. It's a pretty big investment. I mean, that's almost an Aghanim Scepter, right? But what's it really giving him here?
It gives him a little bit more tankiness, and until they get BKBs on Void Boy's side, it's actually really good bang for your buck. And you remember AUI 2000 was all about this item, and that's the reason why. Like, it's like half of an Aghanim Scepter pretty much, but the thing that it gives you now is it gives you accuracy.
That's true.
For whatever that means. I think it gives you, it's like pretty much 40% chance to hit always, even if they have like Butterfly or something. I don't know. But meanwhile, it's Ancient Granite Golem's getting caught out. He's got the Granite Aura, so
yeah, it's like you have MKB 40% of the time.
Okay, that's
without the damage proc, with the True Strike part of it.
Great Static Storm.
He's going down here. It's just too much. Static Storm. They lock him down. Nice pickup there for Void Boys.
So he gets caught out. He's trying to do these ancient shenanigans. The Life Stealer is starting to fall off a little bit. He had a great early game. Still doesn't have his SNY complete. I actually think no, he just has the Yash that he just picked up. So he's a ways away from getting that Sanj up. And I don't know. They're seeming to fall behind a little bit. And Jayo is top of the net worth. So he is doing a lot of damage for the Alacrity. He's got his Midas now. But can they stay in the game? I think the biggest issue is Mood just so underfarmed. It's like watching his Zeus game yesterday. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
you know, he doesn't have that armlet. He didn't have any levels or any items on the Zeus yesterday, and so that's kind of how I feel about this game right now.
And what's sad about this is it was a safe lane Chaos Knight. This is turning into the support Chaos Knight and started in such a manner where it seemed like he was going to be able to get at least a fair bit of farm. At this point, even once he gets the armlet, that's just going to put him on a level playing field so he can sort of participate in these team fights.
Right.
He still isn't really doing much damage. He'll almost be level, or he's just about to hit level 11, so Phantasm will become more relevant. Maybe you get a bit lucky and get that extra illusion. You can do something in the team fights. Right now, the AoE damage is more than enough to deal with those illusions, though. And even if Viper can just get a poison attack on the individual illusions, that helps mitigate their outputs so much. So there's a lot of tools to deal with them here.
Tower will go down. They don't get the deny off. Jo is more intense on going forward. They Atos somebody. I'm not sure who it was. Omega Porter will drop the snowball. There's the Macro Power. Deafening Blast will go. Omega Porter still stunned up. The reality of the Phantasm comes through. They blow him up quickly. But Moo in trouble now. He'll finish up his armlet at the very least, but he will die. Schwan, however, might fall for it as the Brain Sap comes in from the Bane. They'll pick up 2. Okay, that could have been a lot worse. Fluff will actually find the courier, but he doesn't have the damage to kill it and was hasted up. Think about it this way, too. Fluff is almost going to have his Aghanim Scepter as the Chaos Knight picks up his armlet. So I guess that's the one thing you do have going your way is that the Queen of Pain Axe is so good that it's just like, okay, that might mitigate and help them in some of these team fights. It'll actually provide some damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And that little skirmish down there, really good for the Chaos Knight. Of course he dies, but completing the armlet is the key takeaway from that little fight. I want to comment on the Viper's build. He's gone back for the Hand of Midas, and I think it's a really smart pickup here. Void Boys have a nice lead set up for themselves, 3k gold, something like 1500 experience right now, and to keep up that tempo and momentum, this will allow the Viper to hit level 16 pretty quickly, so that ultimate will be on the short cooldown, and also just let him farm more items. He's also one of those heroes that really benefits from the attack speed, so it's not just for farming, it also just lets him put out a lot more damage in the meantime, so this is just really good. It'll let 747 scale into the late game without any issues, like we were talking about.
Yeah, and a couple of patches ago, I would have hated the Midas pickup because Viper kind of falls off. But with the agility gain change that they gave him a couple patches ago, I feel like him in the late game, the Viper in the late game, as I've talked about already in this game, is pretty damn solid. Pat Soul has an ancient stack that he's whittling away at, and this will provide him his S and Y. He'll get his BKB later. Actually, he's going to go for it right now. He'll just hold on to the Ashing and maybe get a Manta Style afterwards, which I think is the right choice. This means that the Aegis will do nothing. Invoker's pretty much going to do nothing. The CK Stun's not going to be there. The Quap will do nothing except for the usage of Sonic Wave. So it's a great pickup now. And we'll see what happens. If they maybe want to take Roche, maybe sneak it, or just put some more pressure on this last tier 2 tower up at the top lane.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Jo right now in these upcoming team fights. For the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, you look at that net worth breakdown, and he is the only one with decent farm. And of course, being a Hand of Midas carrier makes that a little bit easier. But when these fights break out, they're counting on him to do the big damage and use all that experience he's picked up. He's level 14, so he's tied for the top with alongside the Gyrocopter, who, by the way, now has that BKB like you were mentioning. So eek.
This brings me back, man, back to TI2 when Jo was playing for Complexity in the mid lane. He played Invoker all the time, and actually it was like the first team I was a real big fan of was Complexity on the NA side. It was pretty much Jo, Fluff, Hannah Montana, IX, Mike 88, and TC, and you know, Jo being a part of a team with Fluff again brings me back, and especially with him playing Invoker. And he has got to perform again up to the level where they got to TI2. They'll smoke up for VB, they'll look for something, and then there's another smoke on the other side for Archon, and Whitebeard will break it. He has the Aether Lens. He knows that they were thereby, but I don't think they saw each other really.
The way you said that was just like, he has the Aether Lens, the almighty. Lets you see into
so
the future.
Good. That item seems better and better each day.
Yeah, it really is. I agree. Every pub game I'm in, I'm like, yep, the other lens. I felt the difference. This is risky, though, from Void Boys, man. They walk right into the Roche pit. Archon, they've got a ward up on the high ground. They know exactly what's going on right now. Great intel, and Void Boys will make the right call to kind of back out of the pit. Now it's just a battle of vision. You look at the Void Boys side. They've got a ward up on the high ground above the Ancients, but Archon are pushing in here through the mid lane. They've also got a ward kind of back in the mid lane. So they have a general idea of where the movements are, but lucky, Archon will get a double damage rune spawn right as this fight might break out. I think they want to give it to the Life Stealer if they can, but Moo's going to pick it up.
You need to not be here, Ancient Black Dragon. You need to be careful. They're going to force this fight whether or not they want to. He's going to have to jump out. Static Storm, but he's got the range. He needs to walk out before the silence starts wrecking him. BKB, Deafening Blast will go. Call down onto Whitebeard. He had his feed grip for all of 1 second. Gets the Brain Step off. He's still alive. They buy back immediately on the Tusk. Now, 747. Look at the damage coming out. Move with the right click. The Chaos Story coming through. They've got the kinetic field up, and they're keeping him penned in, though. Armlet toggle, will it be there? Rocket Barrage, too much damage. Double kill for Patzel. His usage of BKB is down. Jo has to TP out, can't get there. Great snowball and clips coming through. Great buyback coming out from Omega Poner. The triple kill from Patzel will provide them now with a Roshan attempt.
Okay. Well, a very worthy buyback, as you noted, and of course utilizing it to make sure they could go into the Roche pit after they win that fight. Overall, it was a 2 for 3, so it's not as bad. It wasn't as bad of a fight for Archon as it felt, but now they're going to get Roche, so Void Boys will definitely get a swing of momentum off this. Are they going to get it, though? This is not the fastest Roche we've ever seen, Mod, and Archon are in hot pursuit. It will be a 5v3. They've got 2 sidelined, but they're definitely going to contest. Roche still has quite a few hit points. Monkeys needs to be a little careful, though. He just goes strolling on in there. Goes down to about half HP before he pops the rage. Makes it back to his teammates, or does he? Kinetic Field as well as Ice Shards knock him down the ramp, but he will make it away and into the fog. Roche still standing. They buy a little bit of time for their teammates to get back up. Limps back, though. Monkeys will get picked off. Godlike streak now for Pat Soul. And Void Boys are going to push into the Roche pit once more. Looks like this time they'll be able to finish it off.
They noticed that ward a little bit too late. That's kind of unfortunate. They might have been able to turn and fight had their team been there. They had not much HP on the Lifestealer, but regardless, they'll actually get the Roche. The Aegis will go to the Viper, who has died a couple of times, especially because of the CK, the armor reduction. He's pretty vulnerable to physical damage. That's Viper's biggest issue, I think, and with a Cast Knight, even just with an armlet, you saw how much damage he did there with the help of a couple of other heroes right-clicking him. So now that 747 has the Aegis, he can walk up to the high ground, he can put some damage into the tower, and they could threaten maybe at the very least this tier 3.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only 21-15, but they're getting more and more in control of this game. Now Gyrocopter topping the charts here for the net worth. Finally, the Aghanims comes out for fluff on the Queen of Pain. We talked about that like 5 minutes ago, and it's just been getting delayed after these unfortunate skirmishes have broken out. So that is a huge pickup, though, for Archon, and it comes at the perfect time as they try to hold the high ground. They don't have their Chaos Knight with them right now. Mood just trying to split push the top lane, put some pressure on while Void Boys now siege the high ground. I saw Fluff drop the ultimate just to clear out the creep wave, pressure Void Boys, and buy his team a little bit of time. But unfortunately, from the Archon perspective, they're going to have to deal with the slow siege of this Jakiro. The Liquid Fire is a constant threat that they're going to have to deal with. And now they'll utilize Nightmare to put him to sleep.
How many urn charges? So that will make this push a little bit harder.
BK's going to get the tower, though. This is actually decent for Archon. Unfortunately, he gives it to the creeps, but still finishes off a tier 2 tower. Not too shabby.
Jo cycling through his spells pretty effectively. They all have long cooldowns, but he drops his, Chaos Meteor and he Deafening Blast. He's dropped his EMP. He still has his Tornado, which is not great this early on because of the low level and some Wex, but there's the open wounds. 747 gets forced into the base. Viper Strike. He's actually caught out. The Ice Shards preventing him from getting back to C, but now Infest into the creeps off to infest out. The Rage was going for only a second, but Monkey's Fervor will fall. Sonic Wave goes yet again. The Fiends Grip, can they get him twice? And the answer is yes. Glimpse back into
knocking on the
Fluff.
front door, the Radiant base mod. He's at the tier 3 tower. If Archon
came
can get
back.
up any TPs here. Okay, he's already head back to the base. Now they're going to escape. If they can catch anyone, this could be huge, but it looks like Void Boys will be able to walk away. Omega Pawner, the only one left behind, but he's got plenty of lead time.
Oh my lord, that ward!
Sunstrike.
I did not think it was going to do that much damage. He walks through the ward and then predicted beautifully by Invoker
I thought
Jo.
he lived through it also. That was... Well,
that's a max level exhort.
Yep.
Sunstrike damage of 503. This is pure, by the way. 537 pure damage. That's a dead freaking tusk. And that's
sick.
a huge turnaround. Yeah.
All right. Well, good hold here from Archon. Sure, their tier 3 tower is basically dead, down to about 16 HP, but they get the tier 2 in the bottom lane. They got the tier 2 up top, and well, the tier 3 in the top lane is down to about half health, so the CK definitely got a lot of objective damage. And in the end, they got a few kills. This game is starting to feel a little more even, and yeah, the gold graph definitely reflecting that.
CK is going to get a BKB pretty soon. The comeback path is real, Andrew. I mean, this is not over by a long shot. This Lifestealer is trying to stay alive, and at this point, he's just serving as the tanky frontliner, making sure he can get into creep maybe, or just be annoying and have them try to focus him down with Static Storm. And that's really what they've been doing. They've been forcing Static Storm on him 2 or 3 times in these fights. They get the blink now on Jo. I think another item was picked up. I'm not sure what. I just saw it. It might have been like a forest step or something, but oh well.
Oh well, indeed. So things maybe going to slow down a little bit here. Still a while before we have to worry about Roche. Any other big item pickups? Looks like Viper moving into even Eagle Song. Oh no, sorry, that's the Gyrocopter. I don't know what Viper's going next. Looks like just S and Y.
Yeah.
But yeah, Butterfly on the way for Patzel. No big surprise there.
Oh,
Very fun Gyrocopter. Wow, Halberd, interesting. Big stack here for the Gyro as well. Looks like triple stack, 4 stack maybe?
think it was
triple, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a 4-stack. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure it was a 4-stack. He cleared it out pretty quickly though.
Yeah. So Heaven's Halberd. I mean, there are no BKBs except Moo. He just picked up his, but everyone else will be susceptible to the disarm, except the Lifestealer. He's got Rage. So interesting choice. Not the best timing for the Halberd. Usually one of those items, the earlier you get it, the more effective it is. So it will give him some evasion, so that's nice. Up that EHP a little bit.
I mean, it's not that great of a game for it. It's really... Rage is going to be up, and it's a pretty short cooldown as well, so he could rage that off. BKB will be good against it as well, and the CK is about to have a 10-second one. I think that's what they're worried about is the CK. They think that he's not going to have the BKB, and they'll be able to get off a nice halberd onto him, but...
And one of the things about the halberd evasion is it doesn't look as threatening, right? Teams see a butterfly and they think, okay, we need MKB, we got to counter this. You see a halberd and you think twice, is it really worth investing in the MKB just to counter that 25% evasion? So maybe that's what 747 is playing to here, where it'll just really tank him up against these melee cores, but CK, I mean, probably not a hero that's going to go for an MKB anyway. So.
I mean, and that's one of the reasons why Atos is good too, because it gives you any ally that attacks that person. Well, speaking of cripple, they Atos 747, and that halberd is not helping him much here.
Good night,
the accuracy comes out, and Jesus, 60 seconds on the sideline now. They'll TP home though.
They cook that bird.
Uh-oh. Not again. This Lifestealer keeps getting caught in these ice shards.
Like this. He's going to lay down as much fire as he can before he falls. He hops out of the Drake. He's got one teammate nearby. Jo puts down the tornado. Connects on all four. And he's just going to be able to walk away. Look at this. Hops inside of his buddy. Blink dagger to the trees. That is one sneaky ghoul.
That's pretty funny. Well, that was great. I thought Jo had actually backed up already. He throws out the tornado, and it's really long and actually does a great job in keeping people up. And it stops him from moving forward. He even drops the EMP just to make sure they zone him out effectively. They are still not out of this game yet. There's still a 15k net worth gyrocopter who has finished a full butterfly. But,
yeah, dude. This game is still strikingly even. I mean, Archon are definitely retaking the momentum, but they have not pulled away yet. There's still quite a ways to go. I think next Roche is going to be pretty telling. About 2 minutes left till we see the RNG portion of the timer on the big boy with the Santa hat. I think whoever gets this next Aegis should have a pretty good shot at breaking the high ground.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. You might want to fire him a little bit more for Archon and just get your CK up. But
Sonic Wave comes out from Fluff, connects on 2.
Glimpse.
No follow-up.
There it is.
Not going to be used. Sunstrike actually connects on 747. Oh, they did glimpse him. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't. They were really concerned. They didn't have any vision of where the CK or the Bane was, so they thought, okay, we don't have all 5 of our heroes here. We shouldn't fight into this.
The other thing about this Lifestealer Infest is he keeps stealing the Radiant Ancients. They keep stacking them for the gyrocopter, so every time he's in one of those, that's an Ancient stolen from the Radiant side. And it's added up. I mean, he's been in how many Drakes now? Is this number 4, number 5? Couple of Thunder Hides?
Yeah, he's
8, something like that. It's pretty... It starts to add up. He is definitely mitigating some farm from the gyro, even though it's kind of a small factor.
Is it actually HAG, or are you just being given a number?
I'm totally counting every little ancient creep, guys.
Are you?
I believe that you are.
I mean, sure, I believe it too. I
German.
honestly, yeah, you know, we'll go with it. 8 sounds fine to me.
I went there.
Ward is about to go down. This ward up here is still up and ready to go for the Radiant side. So they do have a deep ward here in the jungle, so Jo might get caught if he's not careful. I circled it. It's here, right here, this thing. I'm pinging it now. It's gone now. They dewarded it, so. No question marks. That's not a question mark. This is not how you draw a question mark. Listen, Andrew, I'm going to draw this for you, and you're going to tell me if this is how you draw a question mark. Right in the mid lane, right where this Thunderhide is.
All right.
That's how he draws a question mark.
Yeah, that's pretty European.
I'd agree with that. Atos, Meteor, Deafening Blast, 747, Cold Snap. Wow, they're throwing everything, but here comes the Halberd.
He's going to live. Oh, no, the Sunstrike. It's huge damage, but they can't finish him off.
Massive damage, even.
They don't have a gem. 2 heads, no gem. Bragging.
Wasn't enough. They had some good damage, massive damage even, but... Alright, so CK has 2.9k gold. You have a BKB and an armlet now. What do you buy next on this hero?
I think Manta.
You think
Definitely.
Manta? Okay.
Get the illusions, go for the chaos factor. Makes it really hard to isolate the Phantasm illusions in the moment, and those few seconds of confusion can really open up a lot of damage.
My Dota crashed. Great stuff.
Oh, Reborn. Classic.
Actually timed out.
Queen of Pain went for a mech. That's pretty interesting. Aghanim's mech. I don't think I've seen this build before.
I'm sure that's one of the first times that's ever happened. Okay, now so it said timed out, and then I went to the main screen, and then it just crashed on me completely. So take it away, Andrew.
All right, so Jo farming Ancients here, looking good. What's he got coming on the courier? Oh, that's a full BKB. Yeah, this Invoker's still pretty fat. He's keeping up with the gyro, and he is scary. This next team fight is going to be pretty explosive. We've got a couple of 10-second BKBs ready to rock and roll. And this damn Lifestealer still just Drakes. Uh-oh, Tornado. Meep set up onto Mega Poner. Can they finish him off? Drake coming in for the kill. All right. Monkeys forever. Taking him out in style. Ancient Dragon style.
Damn. I wish I saw
you
that
missed
kill.
it, Mott.
Yeah, I'm sad.
It was really cool, though. It's also cool because the Dragon has a really long wind-up with his auto attack. If you've ever actually done the Lifestealer Dragon strat that we're seeing, it's a pretty epic auto attack, I have to admit.
Dude, his fireball, the ancient Black Dragon's fireball actually blows up creep waves. It's like a cauldron of fire. Yeah, that's pretty nifty.
Pretty neat. I like the graphics. Alright, well, Roche is back up. So the big boys here hasn't been scouted by either side quite yet. Archon pressuring the top lane as the Void Boys come into the bottom lane.
Go
no
hard
tier
move.
2 towers standing on either side.
He's going hard. Yes. Nice. I'm happy.
Who's
They buffed
going hard?
the Chaos Knight is.
Oh, good call.
So that is a lot of damage and a lot of survivability.
I like that.
With Armlet on, he's gonna have like 4k health with Armlet toggle. That's gonna be gross. You're pretty much not able to kill him. And then at that, they don't have enough damage. Even with a gyrocopter at this point, they just don't have the damage to deal with that. They pretty much have to get lucky in a team fight, lock him down pretty hard. But the problem with that is that he has a 10-second BKB charge. So I don't know what you do once that hard is done.
I still think Manta's good on Chaos Knight just in general. I think going Heart and then Manta is also really good.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, he's farmed well enough now that he's only 1,000 gold off or 1,100 gold, something like that. He's in really good shape.
Monkeys is going to be in trouble. They know exactly where he is. They're going to Ice Path.
Uh-oh.
Static Storm. See you later. He's actually pretty tanky. He's going to pop a Drum Charge, but it'll do nothing.
You sounded so unenthused, just like, all right, he's going to drum, but yeah, honestly, who gives a shit?
I mean, he's dead at that point, right? Like, what am I supposed to say? I can't hype it up anymore. Oh, they got a kill on a Lifestealer who's just standing there. I mean, to be fair...
He's so disgruntled, like, hey, what are you going to drum charge? Yeah, who gives a shit?
That's how I felt.
You're
don't be there. Don't have this ward. Don't have this warded. Deward that shit. That's not going to happen. I won't sound apathetic about it.
Archon's really in good shape moving towards the late game, though. We're 36 minutes in. Yeah, Void Boys are going to get this Roche. It will give them a chance to break high ground. I think this totally keeps them in the game, but...
God, that Meteor did so much damage.
Yeah,
Sunstrike!
Oh, they're scaling so much. You see how much damage the Invoker alone is doing to try and repel this Roche? Snowball forward. The Omega Pawner making it out.
See, this is the problem when you go with the Jakiro, which is great for just pushing early game, but he's not a natural BKB carrier. You're not going to have that much HP. If you have like a Spirit Breaker or a Night Sucker, you'll naturally build a BKB at some point in the game. And really, the Jakiro is just like, I don't want to do that. I want to build Veiled, I want to build the Yules, and maybe even something else, and not go for that BKB, but he will die very quickly in these fights. And maybe he gets his Macro Power off, maybe he gets Liquid Fire or 2 off, but that's not going to be enough. See, he goes now for the Aether Lens, which is a fine ability or fine item for this hero. But
ooh, that's pretty nice for Dual Breath. Pretty nice for Ice Path. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, does that affect Liquid Fire at all? I guess not, since it's just an attack modifier.
It does not. Yeah, it doesn't affect Liquid
It's
Fire.
just a modifier. Okay, fair enough. But Ice Path, yeah, it's really good. I think Archon just had the superior late game. At this point, they're going to start overpowering Void Boys in the team fights just based on their hero comp and the way they
Bluff
itemize.
wants the courier. He wants
He's gonna get it. He's thinking about it. He's hungry.
He Sonic Waves and kills it because it pierces spell immunity. Jesus. Viper's AC was in that? Was it his whole AC? It almost was.
Oh, and Viper's going down.
And he loses Aegis.
Aegis of the Immortal. That was pretty nice.
They're just like...
Strike.
They're a mess right now, Ziori. They're falling apart, dude.
They really are
falling apart on this Void Boy squad.
And
God.
this Dire team is just going to get scarier and scarier. Chaos Knight
Heart's
just
done.
scales from here. Yeah, Heart's
Drop
done.
your stick, boom.
This is when Chaos Knight gets fun. You know, before this part of the game, he's just kind of treading water, doing the best he can to get farmed. This is when he can just run in, pop his ult, and just man up on people.
Keep your armlet on the entire time because you have
Yeah.
your heart regen, which has been increased, by the way, to 4.75 instead of 4 or whatever it was.
They've got a second Atos now, one on Whitebeard. Queen of Pain has full Guardian Greaves.
That couple
First
doesn't
time-
stack, does it? I don't think it does. It shouldn't. The accuracy thing. I'm going to assume it doesn't. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I don't think so. But here we go. Smoke rotation from Archon. Let's see who they get. It's 747 Reality Rift to get it started. There's an Ancient Granite Golem in the front lines. The Meatball deployed as well. He does live long enough to get off the mech, but it doesn't keep him alive for long. BKB popped by Patsol. He's in the front lines, but there your Guardian Greaves. Keeping Archon topped off. Macropyre Ice Path. It'll split the fight, but they're not doing much damage. It's turned into two fights with Omega Ponder on the backside. On the front, Patsol getting dove under the tower. Without a BKB, he'll fall. Moo and Monkey's just going ham. Finishing off Fly, and now this Jakiro will be the only survivor. Archon still with 5 alive, and everyone besides Moo still relatively healthy. Great team fight from Archon, and yeah, we're seeing their power now here, Mott. They have broken this game open.
Went exactly as I think we both anticipated it would go. You have Moo jumps on the gyrocopter. The only thing that keeps him alive was that BKB. Once that goes down, Moo's like, I'll just go ahead and throw you into a reality, just trap you in with my illusions, and he'll throw a call down now, and he actually does have to buy back. Omega Ponder will jump in with the snowball. Maybe they can get Moo the Walrus Punch. He's still alive, and actually gets Nightmare beautifully. Can he get an armlet toggle? He cannot. He will go down. But Patsol with the dieback as Monkeys goes to work with his AC. He wants the tier 3 tower as well. They'll get the Ice Path. Another buyback. It's the CK. They want to finish this game off as Jo gets yet another kill. They'll have 3 dead in the dirt. Now here comes the Scream of Pain as well. Schwan getting caught up will drop the Ice Path, but will still take the right click of Fluff with the Shadow Strike on him, and he'll force himself away. Will stay alive, but just barely. Sunstrike, boom! See you later. Jo gets a double. The Viper Strike will come out. 747 will try to zone as best as he possibly can, and luckily Archon are low in health and HP. The Guardian Greaves will come out, and they'll continue to siege, Yori.
Dude, Jo is on point this game. He has found so many clutch Sunstrikes just time and time again. We're only 40 minutes in, and he has just been non-stop. Here he goes in again on the Fly. That one last auto attack will chase him down. Tries to force F into the well, but it won't be enough. Mid lane of Barracks will get cleared up, and Archon have control. This is feeling like the beginning of the end. Lifestealer unrelenting. You know, the first time we saw Loda do this strategy, he was laughed at, he was mocked on the subreddits, and this is looking like a pretty legit strat. You know, he was doing it in the first couple minutes, but here we're 40 minutes in, and this Ancient Black Drake is actually doing something. He's finishing off creep waves, he's tanking towers. This is actually scary, dare I say it.
I think it works really well in the early game and when you're sieging. If you get caught out with it, I mean, like you saw with those ice shards a couple of times, you're in trouble. But it's done a nice job otherwise. He's had actually really great usage of the Black Dragon, clearing out creep waves with Fireball. He doesn't even need the Granite Golem to get the health aura, but now there's an Octarine up for the Invoker. That's a huge item.
Oh my.
All of his abilities, cooldown reduction. Moo's just going to work on the tier 3. They're going to try to get Mega Creeps here, and this might be the last fight.
Yeah, dude, this Invoker has been doing his power squats, man. He's got glutes to the max. He is huge. One lane of Barracks remaining. They're exposed. This is the final hold for the Void Boys. Can they do it, Mott? And I think the answer may be nay. Sonic Wave comes out, drops the Jakiro first. Omega Ponder second to fall. BKB used by Patsol, doing all the damage he can to Whitebeard. They get a counter kill there, but Jo has the BKB on, and he is going to town. Fly, the next target of choice. Gyrocopter, the lone survivor, might be able to pick up a kill on Moo before the whole thing's done, but that's going to be it, Mott. The whole kit and caboodle, the fat lady singing, and the Void Boys are forced to tap out. Another 5-0 fight.
Jo leading his team to victory with a 27,000 net worth. He ends the game with an ultra kill, 13-3-13 with a score. That's just a great showing, and he kept his team in it. Mook comes in into the late game and just says, I'll come by and just help out with a couple of great Phantasms as well. But in the end, Archon, they get a couple of great team fights. They scale a bit better into the late game. Viper doesn't do anything later on down to the road, and that's
he
about
can,
it.
but just look at how he itemized. He went mech, that's great. He went back for the Midas. We were both, okay, this can work. I like the build here. And then he goes Halberd, an oddly defensive item here. There's already a BKB out on the Chaos Knight. The Lifestealer has Rage. A BKB's coming on the Invoker. I'm not really sure what that halberd achieved. At the end, he wasn't even dying from the physical damage. I thought it was evasion to deal with the Chaos Knight, but the pure damage from the Queen of Pain, the Fiend's Grip, the meatballs from the Invoker, that's what was really doing the big damage. That was, I don't know, ended up being a little bit of a disappointing Viper performance, I think, the last like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'd agree. 747 had a great start. Okay start, I should say, and he kind of fell off. But with that said, we'll jump into our Dota 2 Canada Cup post-game report here in just a bit, guys. Make sure you stick around, of course. Big shout-outs to our sponsors, Twitch TV, G2A.com, as well as SteelSeries. With that said, my name is Mott. With me is Zaiori. You can find us over at moonducktv on Twitter, at MottDota, at ZeroATV, at Pitmocha for our observer and producer, and at LurkerDip for our stats lady. And we'll jump into our report in just a moment, guys. Stick around.